Amy, I'm so thrilled to talk to you today. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. Well, we've been following each other on Instagram for many years now, and I'm really thrilled to actually be able to communicate with you, off of social media. Tell us who you are and what you do. And I should say that I've been so loving your Instagram content because we tend to talk about the same things.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like we're always on similar wavelengths. And I think we started around the same time. You with podcasting, and me, I was just dabbling around on Instagram. But so I am Amy Mayorga. I go by Minimalist and Mom on Instagram, but I am a professional organizer, certified KonMari consultant. So I help people clear the clutter out of their lives and get their spaces organized.
How did you find yourself interested in professional organizing, but specifically the KonMari method?
Okay, so I remember I have 3 kids now, but when my oldest had a birthday party, it was his 3rd birthday party. I came home from the birthday party with a trunk full of toys, and I just felt instantly overwhelmed. Like, I was thinking, I do not know where we're going to put these toys. I don't know what to do. It was just bringing me a lot of stress and overwhelm. And I just felt like it was like a jumping off point for me. And I remembered that I had recently been at my very good friend's house, and she had like this very organized storage closet, and I commented on it. And she had told me about Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And so I decided to just take that as a sign, and I downloaded the book on Audible, and I just dove right in. I followed her steps to a T, and it all just really resonated with me. And I took little pockets of my free time. At that time, I had a 3-year-old, and then I also had a baby, and a 6-month-old. And so I took the little time that I had, let's say when my toddler was at like preschool 2 days a week, I just decluttered. I used her method to a T. I went category by category through my house, and I just started to feel like a sense of relief and calm. And for me, it just started to, I felt like I was coming back to myself. Like, I was peeling away layers of who I wasn't supposed to be, who I was just peeling away things. And in doing that, coming back to myself, to who I wanted to be. And it just really like kind of woke up a part of me that I was just so excited about it. And I started talking to like my friends and my family about it. And I felt like they were getting like tired of me talking about it. I was just so excited. And so I decided to start an Instagram account just to connect with other people, to be able to just talk about it. And the Instagram it kind of took off. I remember in a year, I got like 10,000 followers, and it just kind of was like, wow, like I have something to say on this topic, or there's other people who are interested in this. And it gave me confidence. It just kind of validated that this is something that I really do like. And so I was documenting my process of decluttering, and also becoming more conscious and trying to be more sustainable. I was talking about that as well, because in decluttering my own home and being faced with everything that I was letting go of, I was really faced with all of my consumption habits. And it just opened my eyes. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I have all of these bottles of shampoo and body wash, and everything is in plastic? And it just was kind of like, it just made me sick to my stomach that I had just been like mindlessly purchasing and acquiring and then having to throw away. And so I started to open my eyes to minimalism and sustainability, and started to talk more about those on my Instagram. And so in doing that, I decided that, wow, I could maybe help other people in doing this. So I signed up for Marie Kondo's course, and I went through the whole certification process. And right before I started the course, I found out that I was pregnant with my third, surprise. And I decided to go through the process, and it took me like the whole pregnancy to finish the certification. It's a pretty in-depth certification where we have practice clients and we write up reports and we do interview and test. And so yeah, and so then I had my third baby, and then a pandemic hit, and but I started my business slowly but surely, and now I do this for a job. It's just really fun for me. It's fun to have something that I feel passionate about, that I feel like I'm helping people, that I'm serving like a higher purpose in making people more conscious of their consumption habits and just trying to live a more mindful life.
Well, so much of your answer there speaks to what I talk about on this show all the time. You said essentially that decluttering was not the end goal. Decluttering was a way for you to peel back, peel away, shed even perhaps the layers of you that, didn't quite fit. You also, talked about how decluttering your home and looking at your stuff really made you think about environmental issues when perhaps you had thought about them before, perhaps you haven't. But decluttering was, I think you actually used the phrase eye-opening, and that's how it was for me as well. I want to glean your wisdom, but I only want to talk about the master bedroom, the master suite today, because I really want to get down, instead of like dabbling in the whole house, KonMari methods, I want to really get down and dirty into the master bedroom. So I have to ask you first and foremost, and this is really just to satisfy my curiosity, but what is the most, let me think, how do I want to say this? If you had to pick one person's home, one master bedroom that you've ever transformed, which one was it? Give me a picture.
Oh my God, it was my own. Like my own master bedroom is my oasis. I remember before I had furniture in there that I didn't even need to be in there. I had like a desk and a big dresser, and I had like this big mirror with this dark frame, and I had just lots of knickknacks and books. I had like I don't know, like crafting things in that desk and artwork that I didn't enjoy. And now after going through this process, and granted, like it's taken time, but it's a place where I go and I feel recharged, and everything there serves a purpose. And it just is a place where I can end and start my day peacefully.
So that brings me to my most important question today is what should be in a master bedroom and what shouldn't be? I ask that because I'm thinking about my own master bedroom. And even though it is my husband's and my space, that's our one space that the kids really theoretically should have no influence on. That's not really how it works in real life. I know because I was just up there, like my daughter's hairbrush is on my dresser. It doesn't belong there, but what should be in the master bedroom for flow and function?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it's a comfortable bed. I mean, your bed is a place that you end and start your day. I mean, sleep is so important. When you don't get a good night's sleep, it's hard to think well. It's harder to, be calm and, respond in a way that's, more kind. It's harder to be as productive. So I would say a bed is super important, and a bed that you can sleep well on, and sheets that feel good, and a blanket that is comfortable, pillowcases that you like using. Another thing that's important is surfaces right near your bed, like nightstands, where you can put all those things that help you kind of transition into sleep and out of sleep. Like for me, I like to have a bottle of water so that I can, stay hydrated when I wake up, or if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thirsty, it's right there. And for some people, let's say it's headphones or earplugs. I love to diffuse essential oils. Like I like using lavender to promote relaxation. So I have a diffuser right there, but I have since taken away I don't have a digital clock in my room. I don't try not to charge my cell phone right next to my bed or like a tablet right next to my bed. I have a book or two that I'm reading, but I try not to have things that kind of activate my brain into like things that I feel like I should be doing. Like, let's say you have like a basket of laundry you have to fold. Like, that's kind of like making you feel like you should be doing that instead of resting. Or if you see a pile of papers or something you need to return, or just things that kind of like wake you up. So I try and not have any of that in my bedroom. Another thing that is, I think really helps is like clear surfaces. So let's say you have a dresser in your bedroom, really be mindful about what you keep on your dresser. Like, be mindful, do you really want to see that photo in your room that's like your private space? Do you want to be looking at like a hairbrush like you mentioned? Do you want to be looking at old receipts or things that you have to recycle or whatever it is? So I think it's just remembering how sacred your bedroom is. And like you said, it's the one space where it's like, if you have kids, where you can have that space to recharge. And I actually like to, if I'm at home on a day, I like to use my bedroom, in the middle of the day to go and do some meditation, or I like listening to hypnosis tracks. And so I can go in there and sort of recharge for like 15, 20 minutes. And so it can serve not only the beginning of the day, at the end of the day. You can also use it as a place to just kind of recharge in the middle of the day if you work from home or you're lucky enough to have that option. And in terms of things that I feel like other things that can take away from the energy of a bedroom, for me, I feel like keeping exercise equipment in the bedroom that is like big and bulky can really just detract from that feeling of like peace and serenity. Or let's say a lot of electronics, or like if you like to play video games, to see that in your room, or like big speakers, anything that is sort of electronic or big and dark, that can also take away the energy. So something to keep in mind is like, when you visit a hotel room, like a hotel that you really like, and you get excited to be there and you feel good there, like if you close your eyes and you imagine that space, what do you see? Do you see exercise equipment? Do you see like paperwork that you need to deal with? Do you see like dirty clothes on the floor? No, you don't see much. You see some furniture that is functional, maybe a piece of artwork or two that is inspiring and calm. And the colors that you see are also important. So colors that promote like relaxation and peace can include things like colors like white and creams and tans, and kind of staying away from like bright colors. I know everyone has different preferences, and if you want to express yourself and it brings you joy to have like bright colors in your bedroom, then by all means do it. But if you really think about like a hotel room that you feel relaxed in, mainly the bedding is white. You don't see a lot of plants or a lot of artwork, maybe a plant or two, but it's a minimal space. So I think to try and carry that into your own bedroom can be super helpful.
I love all of that. I should say that what I hear you saying is that it's important, first and foremost, to remember the function of the space, the purpose for this space's existence. And it's to relax and recharge. That is the purpose of our bedrooms, right? You mentioned the beds. Quick plug for my recent interview with Tim Masters of My Green Mattress. We talked a lot about, investing in the right mattress, the right bedding for your bed. But you said a lot there, and I want to break down a lot of it. Let's talk about technology first, because in 2022, I've said it before, I'll say it again, because I really do believe it's true. Our cell phones are an appendage. They're always on us. The thought of leaving them downstairs or away from our person to charge, gosh forbid, turning them off, that can bring up a lot of anxiety for people who are dependent on their technology. So What words of encouragement do you have for listeners who sleep with their phone charging right next to them? They don't turn it off. What words do you have for them to hopefully maybe have them consider doing something differently?
First of all, I'm not perfect because there are nights where I am like on my phone right before bed, but I do notice that if I do that, then I don't sleep as well. Like I've got a smartwatch and it can analyze my sleep, and it's like, it's crazy, the correlation. Like it's insane where I am like, if I am scrolling and watching videos right before bed because I am a normal person and sometimes it just catches me and you get caught in a loop and it's hard to get off, then I don't sleep as well. But the nights when I am super mindful about it and put it in, I charge it in my bathroom that's like right next to my room, and I charge it there, I sleep better. But I would say baby steps. Try putting like the do not disturb on your phone, try dimming the blue light, try maybe taking like the last 30 minutes right before bed, or even 10 minutes, and like grab a book and read a book, or just do something, or write in a journal, do something that isn't part of technology to kind of ease your mind into that sleep mode. And another thing that you can do is, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I would say just baby steps in doing it. You don't need to go all in, but maybe just do an experiment and see if you sleep better not having your phone right next to your bed, or if you sleep better just kind of weaning away a little bit earlier from your phone right before bed.
I sleep with my phone off, charging in the bathroom, so not
That's
downstairs. Awesome. I've done this because I realized that my sleep is vastly improved. I go to sleep quicker. I stay asleep longer because I'm not jumping out of bed to go get, check my phone. And I just say that to say for anybody, for me personally, that when my phone is off, it really feels as though a part of my brain shuts off. The part of my brain that's always, I don't know,
activated.
Activated. And so that works for me. I know that, I'm sure.
I love that. I've never heard of that. Of just literally turning it off. That's so smart.
Well, I don't know. Try it and tell me.
I'm going to try it. I love that.
What else though are some common solutions to some common problems? I know a big one when it comes to the master bedrooms is excess clothes. So what are your best decluttering and organizing strategies for bedrooms that are overflowing with clothing items?
Well, I mean, we can go through step by step on like how I would help someone declutter. Is that something that you want to dive into?
Yes, maybe the annotated version.
Okay. All right. So for someone who is struggling with too many clothes, I would really get quiet and within yourself and really ask yourself, like, do I need this many clothes? Like, is it really adding to my life, or could it be subtracting? And some of the ways that it could be subtracting is in your time. When you have a lot of things, it is hard to find what you are looking for. You want to try on more clothes, and that takes time. You start to, let's say, dig through what you do have, and then you don't know where things go because there isn't enough space. I read a study that said that the average American wastes 55 minutes a day, roughly 12 days a year, looking for things they own but can't find. So in owning less, you can actually gain more time. And in ways to kind of decipher what to keep and what not to keep and what to bring into your life and, let go of, it really is kind of just listening to what you like. We have to like kind of shut down what we should wear or what we should do. If you're a woman and you really like wearing dresses a lot, then by all means wear dresses a lot. If you like to wear yoga pants all the time, and you can, then by all means, like have a lot of yoga pants that make you feel good. But do you really need like 10 pairs of dress pants that you never wear? You probably don't. And by letting go of those items, you can give them to someone who will use them. And in doing that, you gain space. And for our brains, it is so helpful to see space, negative space. It's like a way of like calming the brain. Like, let's say you walk into, let's say a museum, and there's all of this empty space, like an art museum. I don't know about you, but I instantly feel better, as opposed to, let's say you walk into an electronics store and it's like jam-packed with all of this stuff, and it like elevates the stress levels in your brain. In fact, there's another study that says that clutter can like affect the stress levels in your brain, especially in women. So it's just another reason to really just be mindful in the quantity of clothing that you do have. And then when you have less, like it allows you to be a little bit more creative in the way you put together your outfits, and or even in really listening to your own personal style. What do you feel good in? What types of materials are comfortable to you? And, you can start to just hone that curated closet that you like. There isn't a correct number of items to own. I know that, certain people like super minimal wardrobes, and certain people have like lots of clothing. There isn't a correct number. I'm not one of those people who are like, you have to have X, Y, and Z number. It really is what works for you and your lifestyle and your likes. Because let's say you only have 5 pairs of pants, like, is that going to stress you out? Like, how often do you do laundry? How often do you need to change clothes in the middle of the day because you go from exercise to picking up your kids or to a work meeting? Like, you have to have the quantity that works for you. So I can't really, people always ask me like, how much should I own? It really just depends on you, and it's all trial and error. So if you go through and you decide that something no longer serves you, and you let it go, I would just let that space breathe before replacing it, and seeing if you really do miss it, or if you were like, you know what, I really do need another pair of jeans because my jeans are in the wash and I use them all the time. So it is trial and error, but it's kind of just remaining true to yourself and only keeping the things that like light you up and make you happy and you feel comfortable and confident and good in. Because there's no use in keeping something that you think is like, oh, this is in style right now. I should own this. I want to own this because I want to be the type of person who wears things that are in style. Like, but if you don't feel good in it, then why are you wearing it? Like, it makes no sense.
Well, I love what you said there about letting the space breathe. I have a KonMari-esque tactic in my own life that I use with my clothes. I, I think we all tend to have the same outfits that we always reach for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same shirts, the same pants, they feel good, they look good, we always reach for them. And so in efforts of saving time, like you mentioned, my strategy for those go-to clothes, I roll them up. That's a Marie Kondo-ism, right? And I put them in
vertical fold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because and then I store them in my drawers, because putting them in my drawers is way easier than hanging them, taking them down all the time. And so my drawers are reserved for my go-to clothes. And that makes a lot of sense to me, because I'm washing them more, I'm putting them away more. And I haven't done the math out, listeners, but I do seem to think that I am saving myself time. Do you have any practical clothes? Let me say that again. Do you have any practical clothes storage solutions? And that was a real tongue twister for listeners.
Yeah, clothing storage still. See, I can't even say it either.
Yes, go for it. Do you have any for us?
Yeah. So touching on exactly what you said, the vertical fold, like the file fold, can save you so much space. Like, I've gone into clients' homes where, you're stacking the shirts like you would traditionally. And when we go in and refold the things that they're keeping, you can store so much more in a drawer. It's amazing. And so that is super helpful. I would say another thing is to use like baskets or boxes to separate different types of items. So let's say you have one drawer for all of your undergarments. You can use like an old plastic box that you're not using anymore, or a shoe box, and you can separate like your underwear from your socks, from your bras, or from your camisoles. And that way, that just that division can help you. And you don't have to fold everything. Like you don't have to be there folding your underwear and like even your socks. Like you can like let them breathe as long as they're kind of separated from the other things, if that works for you. A trick that I like to use is adding some hooks in your closet for things that, let's say that robe or that sweatshirt that you're in the process of using isn't dirty enough to wash and you want to reuse it, so you can just hang it on the hook. Or another thing to do is like a basket on a shelf where you can kind of throw your pajamas that you're going to rewear, so they kind of don't get mixed in with things that are right out of the wash. So that's another trick. I would say what's it called? Like shoe racks are super helpful if you have the space on your floor and if you don't have like built-in shoe storage, because getting your shoes kind of all together where you can see them all at once makes it, very helpful when you're trying to pick out what to wear. And you might realize that like, wow, you really don't need 6 pairs of high heels when you never wear high heels. If you see them and you're face to face with them, like, do you need all of those heels? I don't need all those heels. I never wear heels anymore. So yeah, those are a few tips. I would say hanging things that really feel like they want to be hung. Like that sounds kind of silly, but if you pick up a shirt, like a silk blouse, and like that type of material, it just it hangs better than being folded because it'll get wrinkled a lot easier. And I don't know, just really my number one tip with all of my clients, like I have people who come in and they're like, I want you to reorganize my closet. I tell them we need to take everything out. And they look at me with like wide eyes, like, are you serious? I say, yes, that is the only way to go through everything and really kind of like shift the energy in the closet. And so you take everything out, and then you wipe down all of the surfaces, and you can feel the energy change. And then you go through the items one by one. And when I do this with a client, I'll have a bag for donations, I'll have a bag for recycling, and then a bag for things that are trash. And I try to not have a lot of trash, but sometimes there are things. There's like, plastic tags or, underwear that you can't use textile recycling for. And so taking everything out and going through the items one by one. And then when you're ready to put them back, kind of reevaluate where you store things. If you always have stored all of your shirts, every single one of your shirts in a drawer, maybe you should rethink, like, what do I use all the time? What would be easiest for me? You can think outside the box. Like, there are no rules. Me personally, I don't have a dresser anymore because I use 2 built-in drawers that are inside my closet. And that's one drawer I have like all of my workout, pajama, t-shirts, basically like casual clothing I keep there. And in the other drawer, I have all my undergarments. And another tip is having like baskets that you can put some seasonal items that you don't need immediate access to. Like, let's say in the winter, you might not need immediate access to bathing suits or bathing suit covers or shorts. And so you can put them folded nicely in a basket, like up top. And I like to keep it accessible because let's say you have to like plan for a trip, or something comes up where you need shorts or a bathing suit. You don't have to go digging through an attic or a storage space to go find the bin, and it saves you time. So that's another argument to own less. Own what you can keep on hand and try not to cycle in and out of wardrobes if you can. I know some closets are super, super small and you got to do what you got to do, but in order to save time, own just what you need and what brings you joy, because it will lighten up your burden and stress and make you feel better.
There are 2 things that you said there that I want to highlight. The first is keep what you can store in your space. So keep it in your closet. Keep your clothes in your closet. Don't keep them in the attic. Don't put them in your storage space if you can help it. Clothes are, and you did say, if you don't need bathing suits in February, still keep them in your closet, but keep them,
less accessible. They shouldn't be like your prime location. The things that you use all the time need to be the most accessible. And this goes for any room in your house. Like I'm thinking of a kitchen.
Yes.
Like you don't need that turkey roasting pan, like prime space, like put it up where you can't really reach it, because everything that you want easily accessible should be easily accessible. It should be right there in the cabinet that's at your height, or in the shelf that's at your height.
Yes. And everybody has a different size closet, different size home, different size kitchen. However, I do think that it's so important to consider the concept of space limits. Like the size of your closet in this case dictates the amount of stuff that you can comfortably, happily keep. Because if you're storing clothes here, there, all over the house and other places, that's just going to increase your stress and time issues when it comes to finding these things. So if at all possible, keep your stuff where it belongs. Keep clothes in your closet. The other thing you said that I really want to highlight and drill down is your hooks in the closet example, because I think you mentioned, perhaps the clothes that aren't quite dirty you could wear again, but they're a little dirty, so you don't want to put them with the clean clothes. And you mentioned hooks. I know I used to have a chair in my bedroom for like the semi-dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts on the semi-dirty stuff? Like we don't want to throw them on a chair. We certainly don't want to put them back in the drawer or in the closet with the clean stuff. Like what do we do with that stuff? Is the answer a hook?
Well, I mean, some people like to, hang them in a different direction on a hanger, but I feel like that's too much thinking for me. I like to keep it easy. So something that I'm going to rewear, again, it's either a hook, or I've got a couple baskets that have lids on them, and I put them in there and I reuse them. Like if there's leggings that I wore them and then I didn't really exercise, I'll put them in there and I'll grab for them first. Like I'll open that basket and grab for those things first. So I don't think you need to overthink it, but we also don't need to be overwashing our clothes.
Right. So I have a few more questions for you, Amy. The first comes with decor. I think decor is quite personal. I think when it comes to creating that serene space, I know you mentioned, think about a hotel room. The first step is decluttering. Clear the surfaces, get rid of what you don't need to look at. A side note here is my husband and I, this is so silly, I can't believe we did this, but for many years, we kept our hamper for dirty clothes, like by under the windows, like on the side of the room. And so every time I walked into my bedroom, that was in my line of sight, dirty clothes, something that I have to take care of, something that's unattractive to look at. And I was like, one day I just woke up, I was like, why don't we just put that hamper in the closet? Like, let's be smart about this. So when it comes to decor, I think that step one is to get the ugly stuff out of sight. But what else? What should be in a room to create that serene space that's right for rejuvenation?
Less. The answer is less. Like, if you can, like, do you really need a bookcase in your bedroom? Do you really need like a sewing desk or like a rocking chair? Do you really need two dressers? Do you really need like a couple of those really tall dressers? Like, what do you not need in your bedroom? Like, I would start there and then just kind of bring in the necessary. And then when the necessary works, then you can add like a touch or two of things. Let's say you have like a lot of pillows on your bed. And when you see the pillows, you say, okay, that looks really nice. But subconsciously, are you thinking, oh, I have to pick up all of those pillows every single day. My kids are going to be throwing those pillows everywhere. I have to make the bed. It's this whole big process. I don't want to do it. I'm just not going to touch anything. It's all going to live on my floor. So kind of just rethink what you keep in your room. And for me, it's like I don't really like decorative pillows. I have got one on the chair in my bedroom and like none on my bed. Sometimes it floats between the two, but like gone are the days where I have like 6 pillows in my bed decorating. Yes, it looks beautiful, but the things in your life, if they're not serving you, they're taking away from your life. They're taking away time. They're taking away energy. All of the things in our life send us messages, whether or not we're conscious of it or not. Like, let's say we see something on our counter that is dirty. Like, we might not be conscious of it, but in the back of our minds, we're thinking, oh, I didn't clean that dish, or, oh my gosh, I have to take the time to do that, or, oh, that food is going to get sticky on the dish because I didn't. So we're thinking about all of these things. Or if you see something that's cracked, oh, I need to do something, I need to fix that, or I need to replace it. Our things send us messages. So in being mindful of what we keep in our life and let go of the things that no longer serve us, we can quiet down those messages, and we can focus our energy on things that actually matter, on things that can, bring creativity, on things that you're passionate about. Like, in decluttering my own life and my own space, and I've heard this many, many times from clients, it makes you so much more, I don't know, it opens your mind to bigger issues, and it opens your mind to allow you space, and it just reduces your stress. And it just, I don't know, it brings a lot of joy. It sounds so silly. Getting rid of stuff can make your life better, but actually, it's like the first step in living a more mindful life, or it can be if you allow it to be.
I can just hear the passion in your voice, and I want to thank you for bringing it to my show today. I want to say, though, I live in a house that was built in 1960, and my master bedroom is tiny. So
Yeah.
again, going back to the concept of boundaries, I can't have a lot in there. You mentioned you don't have a dresser. My master bedroom would be totally served if I took out the dresser, and I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about
sometimes
how that
dressers can go in closets, and I've done that with a few clients. If your closet is the right size, or maybe like some shelves in your closet, or baskets, or a couple drawers, a drawer set that can kind of replace the dresser, could be helpful.
But my question then becomes, like, newer houses that were built in the last 20 years or sooner, the master suites are gigantic. They're absolutely huge. So I think it's human nature for us to say, well, let's fill this space. But then the catch-22 occurs, where we're filling this space with stuff that shouldn't be in the bedrooms. I don't know if there's a question there. I guess I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
I think that's a common trap that a lot of people fall into, is like, there's space, I need to fill it. Well, I'm going to challenge that and say, what if you didn't? What if you left it empty? Like, it's less to dust, it's less to clean, it's less to worry about and think about and maintain. Try having some space, see how it makes you feel. I have a large master bedroom. We live in a large home. We live in Texas. And, at one point I felt like shame for living in a big home, but this is what works for our family. And this is this house we love, this neighborhood we love. And, I can live in a large home, but and not have a lot of things in it. There are no rules when it comes to living more mindfully, maybe living with less. You can live in a tiny house, and that's amazing. You can live in a large house, but it's all in, how you approach it. Just because you have space doesn't mean you need to fill it. Just because you have money doesn't mean you need to spend it. Just because you have a closet doesn't mean you need hundreds and hundreds of clothes. So it's all what works for you.
If those aren't phenomenal parting words, I don't know what is. Amy, tell my listeners where they can find you online, where they can learn more about you.
My Instagram handle is Minimalista Mom. So minimalist and then an A and then mom. My website is minimalistaorganizing.com. And if you sign up on either place for my email list, I can keep you in the loop with different programs. I'm in the process of starting a course. So if you get on my email list, you'll be the first to know when I launch it.
Well, quick plug for your Instagram. We started at the same time, and your account has really just taken off, and mine's remained pretty stagnant. And that's a testament to the content you're putting out into the world. And again, the content you brought to the show today. So Amy, I am so happy to have talked to you. I consider you my friend in Texas, and I wish you so much success.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. And it's so nice to talk to you. I feel like I already know you.
Same. Next time I'm in Texas, we're going out.
Absolutely. We'll go to a coffee shop and talk all things minimalism, sustainability, mom life, all of that.
Perfect. All right. Let me